There was a fragment of the universe hurtling through the cosmos, and there I stood, gazing up from the comfort of a farmhouse rooftop, a structure crafted by my father's hands in the middle of nowhere. For all the years we spent on the countryside, not a single remarkable event had graced our mundane existence. This meteor shower, however, marked the pinnacle of my entire life. With a sense of wonder glazed over my eyes, I became captivated by one falling rock, shining brighter than the rest. It ignited a yearning in me to reach out and touch it. Almost as if responding to my silent plea, the meteor took an unexpected U-turn, hurtling from the sky like a falcon diving for its prey. I watched in astonishment as it passed overhead and crashed into the wooded area behind my dad's property. Strangely, there was no sound, no explosion. Just the rustling of tree leaves as it descended through the forest canopy. To add to the peculiarity, I could swear I saw a faint red glow emanating from the crash site. After the initial shock wore off, I descended from the roof and raced into the woods as fast as my scrawny legs would carry me. With a rough idea of where the celestial intruder had landed, I darted in that direction, harboring hopes of securing a piece of space rock as a souvenir to present to my father. If luck was on my side, this cosmic treasure might prove thrilling enough to divert his attention from scolding me for venturing into the woods alone. At least that was my fervent hope. Eventually, I stumbled upon a small clearing where the moonlight delicately embraced the earth, offering a somewhat clearer view of the surrounding flora and fauna. Small animals scurried frantically northward, their hurried movements suggesting that the meteor's landing had disturbed the wildlife, opting to move in the opposite direction. Continued my impromptu hike through the wilderness, guided only by the moonlight. After approximately 10 more minutes of navigating the underbrush, I encountered the origin of the mysterious glow. Metallic pod nestled in a small depression in the ground. The pod, twice my height and spherical, featured a blinking beacon protruding from its surface like an antenna. It was unlike anything I had ever seen before, leaving me utterly dumbfounded. As I prepared to examine the strange object more closely, a hatch opened from its side, jolting me back into the woods. My heart raced as I quickly sought refuge behind the nearest tree, cautiously peering around the trunk to observe the peculiar craft. Uncertain of what to expect, my mind raced through various possibilities. Could it be a top secret military weapon? A remote control gadget crafted by a genius hermit in the vicinity? Would a little green man emerge, demanding to speak with my leader? Regardless of the potential outcomes, my eyes remained fixated on the metallic pod, transfixed by the mysterious encounter unfolding before me. A dark violet ooze oozed from the object, creating a sizable puddle at its base. The slimy substance crawled up the pod, encasing the exterior in a top-to-bottom coating. While the slime maneuvered around the sphere, the blinking light above ceased its activity. Simultaneously, the purple liquid was expelled from the craft, returning to the ground below and gradually taking on a humanoid form. As the Uzis transformed, its color shifted as well, turning white and fuzzy, reminiscent of television static. Strangely, the force soon resonated with the voices of TV and radio dialogue. It seemed that this entity was capturing signals from the air, reproducing lines from popular programs long past their original broadcast. At least, that was the impression it gave. Mesmerized, my mouth hung agape as I unconsciously leaned forward. The signals abruptly ceased, and I tumbled headfirst onto a pile of dead branches, producing a resounding crunch. From this new position, I observed the white figure turning towards me. Then I heard it speak.
"Who is there?"
Its voice, trembling in unnatural tone, manifested as a low, monotonous growl intertwined with a harsh reef. Terrified for my life, I swiftly picked myself up and sprinted back home faster than I had ever run before. I reclaimed my spot on the roof, meticulously scanning the surroundings. After ensuring I hadn't been pursued, I leapt through my bedroom window and settled into bed, yearning that I had conjured the entire episode in a vivid dream, an adventure fabricated by my imagination running rampant. I wished for simplicity, but wishful thinking rarely unfolds in one's favor. So the next day, I descended the stairs to the comforting scent of eggs and bacon. Sundays were always marked by my father's tradition of preparing a hearty breakfast. However, The scene that greeted me in the dining room was anything but routine. Seated at the table across from my father was a man in a crisply tailored suit, sporting a bowler hat and a striped tie. Visitors were a rare occurrence in our home, so I couldn't help but feel perplexed. Son, this is Mr. Fisher. His car broke down a couple miles up the road, so he's going to be staying with us for a few nights just until he can get things sorted out. How do you do, sport? Remaining silent, I felt disturbed by the man's sudden presence, still haunted by the events of the previous night. He's paying us a generous sum to stay here, so you best treat him with respect. Dad shot me a stern look, leaving me with no choice but to comply. I'm well, sir. Thank you for asking. The man smiled, albeit awkwardly, and I rushed outside to tend to the farm. Strangely, I'd lost my appetite, and something about the situation just didn't add up. How did this stranger find our farm after his car broke down? We were surrounded by forest, and the odds of stumbling upon our remote location seemed highly unlikely. Was it merely dumb luck? I began to doubt it. The timing of his appearance the day after that strange incident in the woods felt more than coincidental. However, I wasn't ready to explore this unsettling theory. I had convinced myself that the events of the previous night were nothing more than a bad dream. Besides, the man would be gone in a few days, and I tried not to dwell on it. The next couple of nights were bizarre. Mr. Fisher attempted to watch a sitcom with us during dinner, but his reactions were far from normal. He seemed perplexed by the program and would only laugh after noticing our laughter. This wasn't ordinary laughter. It was a loud, uncomfortable guffaw that filled the room. I almost felt relieved when he got pulled away by a phone call from a supposed business colleague, though I couldn't hear a single word exchanged. Okay. On the following night, as I walked downstairs to the kitchen for a glass of milk, I discovered Mr. Fisher devouring a raw steak from the freezer. I questioned him about it, and all he said was, "It's just a little midnight snack. Trust me, a little color does the body good." Needless to say, I hurriedly retreated to my room, abandoning any thought of getting my milk. That's right. However, as when fear truly gripped me, as I walked past the guest room to get to the bathroom, I overheard Mr. Fisher engaged in a phone conversation. This time, his voice was clear, and I couldn't ignore what he was saying.
Did you receive the information I transmitted? Yes, this is the language we must use from here on out. It's a lovely place, rich in minerals, water, and life forms. So long as you're ready, there's no going back from here. This will be our new home. No need. Why waste the material on transports when I can beam you down instantaneously?